Hey, what's going on, fellas? How we doing, man? Antonelli here, making a video for you guys today, answering your questions. Today we're talking about passing the hat at minor league games and making money hitting home runs. I don't know how many of you know about this. I'd be interested to hear in the comment section below. Basically, what passing the hat is in the minor leagues when, and this doesn't happen at all parks. But it happened when I was in Lake Elsinore, California, playing in the California League for the Padres in High A. When you're playing at home and you hit a home run, they pass a hat for you. So they'll pass a hat around the stadium. Everyone will put money in. Usually you'll get like $1 bills. Sometimes you'll get like a 5 or a 10 if someone's really feeling good. And so they pass the hat around the stadium. And then I think they end up splitting it 50-50. So 50 of it will go back to I'm not sure if it goes to a charity or just goes to the stadium or to help with the team or whatever. And then 50% of it goes to the player that hit the home run. And so, luckily for me that year, that was the most home runs I ever hit in my career that season. I hit 21 home runs that season, although I was only at Lake Elsinore for a little bit more than half the season. I ended up hitting 14 home runs there. So I made a good amount of money. I probably almost made as much money hitting home runs as I did from actual salary. If you guys watched my old video on player salaries in the minor leagues, I think that year I made $1,200 a month. I played 5-month season, so I made about $6,000 for that year probably. And from hitting home runs, I hit 14 in half the year. Didn't hit them all at home, but hit a good amount at home. I made at least a couple $1,000s. Just hitting home runs. So let's talk a little bit about kind of the stories that I remember, kind of how it works, and all that stuff. So the first thing is, players get excited about this. So I didn't know, growing up, I never went to minor league games or anything. I had no idea what passing the hat meant. And so, my first home run, I hit the home run. I don't really think of it. I didn't know about the pass on the hat. I get in the clubhouse after the game, and all of a sudden, someone comes up to me, and they've got like a wad of like money, and they're like, "Here you go, congratulations on your home run." And I was like, "What? I get paid for home runs?" And my teammates were like, "Yeah, like pass the hat. They pass the hat for you." And I was like, "What the hell does pass the hat mean?" And they're like, "When you hit a home run, they pass the hat, and you get half the money." I was like, holy hell, this is amazing. Like, you get paid for hitting home runs. This is crazy. So, players get really excited about it, especially if there's like a lot of people at the game. Obviously, the more people at the game, the more money you're going to make if you hit a home run. So I remember July 4th was the biggest crowd of the year. Usually huge crowds because of fireworks and all that stuff. And so, before the game, we come out onto the field and there's tons of people there, and guys start saying like, oh man, like tonight's a good night to hit a home run. So I get up in the first inning and I get into a ball. I hit this ball. I hit it pretty far out of the park. And like I come around and I come in the dugout and all the guys start like, be like, you son of a, like freaking hitting a home run on July 4th. You're going to get a ton of money tonight. So like 2 batters later probably, Dave Freese hits a home run. And now everyone's like, like giving me crap because when 2 guys hit a home run in the same inning, you split the money. So if you were going to make like $1,000, you end up only making $500. You split it 2 ways. So Dave and I split it that night, and then I actually got up again in like the 8th, and I hit a ball that went off the top of the wall about this much. So I could have hit 2 home runs on that, and I probably would have ended up making like $1,500 or something like that. But anyways, really interesting to get, you get paid for hitting home runs. And I made, like I said, I made a good amount of money that year. And the funny thing is, looking back, I don't know why I did this, but when I used to get paid for it, I used to take the money and I'd go back to my host family's house. I lived with a host family that year, and I would just like I just throw the $1 bills like in the top of my dresser drawer. I just throw them in there and like I just left them there. I don't know why I never deposited them or anything. I just kind of threw them in there and then I did whatever. And I remember my girlfriend came out, who's now my wife. She came out probably like a couple months into the season. I was only there for about 2.5 months or so, and then I got called up. So she comes out and she like opens my dresser drawer one day and like she's like, "What the hell is this?" There's like like 3,000 $1 bills just sitting in there. She's like, where did you get all this money?" And I'm like, "Oh, those are my home run. that's passing the has, but I'm hitting a lot of home runs this year. And she's like, you can't just leave it in the house. Like, you have to go deposit it or something. You look like an idiot with all these $1 bills. And I was like, well, why don't could you like go deposit them for me? I got to run to the game. Like, can you just get them all together and bring them down to the bank? And she was like, no chance am I walking into a bank with 3,000 $1 bills. You have any idea what they're going to think I do for an occupation? And so I said, that's true. That's probably a good idea. You probably don't want to do that. But somehow, I don't remember how. I don't know why I didn't just do it. But so we like got them all together and we went down and I had her go in for me. I still don't know why I didn't want her, but I guess I thought it was funny. I just like sent her in. And I wish she had a camera on her because I'd like to see the reaction of the teller when she went up with all those $1 bills. It probably has never happened before. But anyway, she went in there, put the money in, deposited for me somehow. And yeah, so those are my two memories of passing the hat and hitting home runs and making money for it. I don't think it happened at any other stadium for me. Lake Elson was really the only one I remember. I was only in San Antonio for a very short amount of time, and I was in some other places a real short amount of time. And then, AAA in Portland, Oregon, we did not pass the hat. And then obviously in the major leagues, you don't pass the hat. I mean, I don't think guys are, going to be excited about collecting a couple $1,000s for hitting a home run when they are making, 12 million. So, but really, really exciting stuff in the minor leagues, especially for guys that, aren't making a lot of money. A guy that's only making a couple $1,000s for the year and all of a sudden you hit a couple big home runs and you're getting paid almost the same amount of money. I mean, it's a pretty big deal for a lot of players. Most people think that, we talked about this in the last video, most people think that like minor league players are making like all this money, right? I remember I was doing a camp one day back home and the guy said, what do minor leaguers get paid? I might have already told this story. I'm sorry if I did. He said, what does minor leaguers get paid? And I'm like, not as much as you think. And he's like, no, honestly, like, what do you guys get paid? Do you think like the average salary is like $1 million? And I'm like, $1 million in the minor leagues? He's like, yeah, is that like about the average? I said, we made like $5,000 last year, my first year. And he's like, $5,000 like what, a week? I'm like, no, $5,000 like for the whole season. So most people I don't think realize that. And so you can imagine if you're like a kid, again, that just got out of college, you're 21 years old, you got no signing bonus and you're making $5,000 a month and all of a sudden you hit a home run and you get like paid a pretty good amount of money. I mean, it's a pretty big deal. So I know I was saying guys like, talk about it and joke about it, but like some guys are like up there like, shit, I got to hit 3 homers tonight, So it's a fun part of the game, especially at the lower levels in the minors. So again, thank you for writing in. Hopefully I did a good job explaining this to you guys. Comment section below. Let me know if you've ever heard of this before. If you've ever been to a minor league game, or maybe you've been someone that put $1 into the hat. Maybe I got that dollar. Thank you. Subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. Give us a thumbs up. Like the video. I really appreciate it if you guys did that for me. Check out our Instagram page, Antonelli Baseball, on Twitter, @Matt29, where I'm posting videos all the time for you guys. Check out the description box below where I've put a bunch of links to books I've been reading that I think you guys may enjoy, and also training tools we use with all of our players. Check out our website, AntonelliBaseball.com. We have tryouts going on right now, and so if you're a local player, stop on by, say hello. What else? I think that's it. That's all I got for you guys. Thank you again for watching and for writing in. And we will talk to you later.